Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be starting a new series of videos on this channel. I've been an avid Paradox gamer for about 4.5 years now, pretty much right since Crusader Kings 3 came out. I was first introduced to it and I bought it on a whim and I absolutely loved it, and quickly after that ended up with basically every modern Paradox game there is. Crusader Kings 3, Europa Universalis IV, Victoria 3 when that came out, all of them, except Imperator, because we don't talk about Imperator. So I figured that since I love to play these games anyway, and love to try and see what weird and cool things I can do, figured might as well record it and we can go through some of these runs together. So we're going to start that today. Today we're going to start with EU4, which is probably my favorite, or maybe second favorite after Crusader Kings 3, and the one I've been playing quite a lot recently. So, today is going to be the first part of this run. See how far we get until I either run out of time, or get bored, or have to go to bed because it's almost midnight. And we're just gonna run through this game and have some fun. Alright, so here we go. Just have our blank front screen. I have a lot of mods installed, but I have none of them active right now. You'll see here in just a minute when we go into the game that Iron Man is enabled and achievements are enabled, so everything's off. Just a normal, uh, straight run through with everything disabled. So I was looking through the achievements on the wiki, and I found one of the relatively simple ones that I had somehow not gotten done yet, because I have about 30% of them, most of them the lower level ones. But one of the medium achievements that I haven't gotten yet, probably because I don't play in Italy very often, is this one here, called Not Just Pizza. And the objective is to become a great power as Naples. This sounds like a lot of fun, kind of hard because Naples is a subject nation at the beginning, but we're going to go through. We're going to see if we can't maybe unite Italy as Naples and along the way become a great power. And once we get this achievement, well, we'll see where we go from there. We might keep playing through to unite Italy and Rome and all of those cool things that people inevitably end up doing with powerful runs. So with that, let's get right into it. So we go in here and we're going to start as basically everyone does in November of 1444, right at the beginning. Go up here and Naples. As I mentioned, Naples is a junior partner of Aragon under the King of Aragon. And so it's going to be a little bit tricky, although there are some events that help us. The Neapolitan succession and all of that, which typically will fire in our favor. But we're going to start out here and see what we can do. Maybe see if we can unite all of these little Italian states into Italy. I managed it as one of the little powers, Minuta, I believe, once, so I think it's probably pretty possible. But let's dive in and see. Alright, so let's get in. We're going to go into Iron Man mode. Achievements can be earned this session. You can see it's on, so everything is good to go. Going to start our run here. Give it a good name. Ignore my other saves. I name them weird things to remember what achievement I'm doing. I'm going to name this one Italy. I think I might have one by that name. Nope. And here we go. Give it a second to load. I've got basically all the DLC except the most recent, I think 5, and so it's a bit graphics intensive, especially with all of my recording software in the background. Alright, so let's read through this here. After the Sicilian Rebellion of 1282, the Neapolitan king Charles of Anjou lost control of the island to Peter III of Aragon. With only the territories in mainland Italy to his name, the Kingdom of Sicily became forfeit and its king adopted the title the Kingdom of Naples. When Queen Joan I died childless, the Neapolitan kingdom fell into a constant state of civil war, with cousins of all kinds of claims and titles to their name fighting for control of the kingdom. Alfonso V of Aragon settled this dispute with blood, driving out all other pretenders and uniting the crown of Aragon with the Kingdom of Naples. In 1444, the Kingdom of Naples is a captive in a very delicate situation. They remain under union with the crown of Aragon, but the Aragonese claim to the throne is weak, and the question of who truly belongs on the throne is something of an ongoing dispute. With blood ties to the Kingdom of France, the Neapolitan succession crisis has become a matter of great tension between Aragon and France. To the north, the Papal State controls Rome and much of central Italy. Meanwhile, the Italian peninsula is shattered into small realms such as Florence and city-states like Lucca and Bologna. To the south, Tunis remains a large threat to the economic stability of the kingdom, as the marauding pirates often raid the coastline of Naples and disrupt Italian maritime trade. However, the question still remains: how will Naples break free from the iron grasp of Aragonese rule and reunite the two Sicilies? Sounds like a pretty good start there. Religion, we have the Catholic faith, we get tolerance and missionary strength, and we have the Pope and all of the Curia. This here indicates it's one of my DLCs, means the Pope gives us colonial regions so that other people aren't allowed to go there. We probably won't end up there. And then all of this, the Protestant Reformed churches will show up here in about 100 years or so. We're a monarchy, we have consorts because of this DLC, and we have estates and government reforms. And then the environment, Europe, HRE to the north, that I think we're not a part of, but most of Italy is. So we can't go to war with Italy without going to war with the Empire. That'll be tricky. We might join them later. And with that, we are good to start. So first things first, I typically play at speed 5 and pause a lot. For this video, I'm going to play at speed 3 and try to pause a lot less. But before we get going, let's take stock of our situation. So we have 13 ships here. Looks like we have 2 light ships, 4 galleys, and 7 transports, which is pretty good. We don't really need much right now. And so we have 10,000 soldiers, 8,000 infantry, 2,000 cavalry. Pretty good. First things, let's take a look at our force limit. So we can afford 4 more military units. And let's see what our finances are. 3.02 per month, that's pretty good. That means that we can actually afford to make up another few units. We can probably even hit our force limit. Let's do 3 units here and a unit of knights. And that'll give us, I think, one of our missions here. Oh, nope. Naples does not have that mission that most places do with the force limit. Well, it'll still be good to have the force limit. Oh, we do. We actually do right here. Total army size, 90% of the force limit. So we have to break free, and we have to have our army be as big as we can. Starting out with low prestige, that's fine. Confirmation of the Council of Florence. That's some orthodox stuff that we don't care about. First things first, we're going to drop down to speed 2. We got the Golden Bull. Developments are cheaper and heathens are more tolerated. Looks like Poland chose to unite with Lithuania. No surprise there. And now we need to take a look. We don't have any rivals because we're a subject nation. We'll get that figured out. For the time being, let's start improving relations. I say we start improving relations with Portugal and Castile, because those are both enemies of Aragon, and maybe also with France, because they're also an enemy of Aragon. We're going to try to stay on the good side of Aragon, but also, when time comes, we're going to break free. Okay, there's our army, 10,000, and our knights are on their way. Meanwhile, we can go in here and raise up a general. That's pretty good for an early general. I like it. Let's see. The time has come for the clergy to appoint a new leader to assist our king. Okay. So we can either meddle in the affairs of the clergy or not meddle in their affairs. Well, we don't have any gold right now, so I say let's leave them be. And they can gain some influence, that's fine. So we now have a good army. Let's start drilling them so that they become more powerful. We'll leave them be. we will combine these for the moment. Get ourselves up to this guy here. Not terrible. Protect trade. Looks like that would be a net loss. So what if we just split off these two ships? Protect trade. Okay, so what sends us to do that? We can either accept the petition or make the peasants angry. Well, let's do this. Move them over there. Little secret about EU4, unlike some of the other games, is that the timer does not stop when events happen. So you can sometimes exploit them by moving troops and such over to where rebellions are going to happen before they do. So let's let the rebels do their thing. They're peasants, they're not really a threat. I'm going to wipe them out real quick here. Just a couple of days and a couple of hundred casualties, probably. About 1,000, okay. Move back over there. Try to get rid of some of these things. Not worried about those. We're running out of gold, but that's because we're reinforcing, so that's not a worry. Let's then drill again. And for the time being, we're just kind of hang out. We have to wait a while because eventually the king of Aragon will die, and when he does, we will get an event that typically allows us to break free. I've seen it, it's probably about 80-20, I'd say, in terms of whether or not they actually go through with breaking up the kingdoms, which is the historical option, is that Naples breaks free. Because there's a whole war over Charles and all of this stuff here with the King of Aragon, and the heir to Aragon is Joan, that's the queen, and when she dies, it kind of gets up in the air a little bit about who rules the kingdom. So, we can call a diet if we want. Let's see. Our estates are kind of influential, but not too bad. So I'd say it's worth calling them. See what they want from us. You can see here, I always prefer, in times like this, to go with the clergy if possible, just because their tax modifier is more useful at the moment than the nobility or the burghers. Let's see. Make the papal state like us. Okay, let's do that. Because these other two are kind of whatever. Oh, although we just got excommunicated. That's okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Aragon get excommunicated, and we lost that mission. That was dumb. Should have waited another few days. Oh well. There's some things we can add here that will help us out. Religious diplomats makes other Catholic powers like us more and gives us a better diplomatic reputation. Give the burghers some rights here. I always lose track. There's one here that I'd like to give them that's particularly useful. Find it. Like, here we go. It'll make our ships more powerful and increase our trade. And then with the nobility, there's a couple that I like. Right now we have no subjects, so there's some irrelevant ones. But we can go with, this one here is pretty good, I think. It'll just give them a flat boost to loyalty. Let's see what these events are. The Kingdom of Italy and the Empire. Yes, Austria has to either re-establish control over the Italian states, or they slip away from the empire. But we're not part of that, so we don't have to worry. Let's see, looks like Crimea went to join the Ottomans. Okay, that's pretty typical. They're kind of not our problem right now, but that's pretty standard. Let's take a look. So here's the empire, and we can see all of these northern states, except for Venice, are part of the empire, and everyone here south of the Alps is either going to slip away or be brought back into the fold. And if they slip away, as I think they usually do, that'll allow us to attack them and go to war without angering the Empire. You can take a look and see when this incident. No, this incident is not here yet. So I think they have 20 years or something. Let's see what this says. If we want, we can declare statute and restraint of appeals because the Pope doesn't like us. That would make the Pope hate us. Aragon would hate us, and we'd get some modifiers. I say, let's leave that. That is the statute and restraint of appeals is what Henry VIII passed in England when he was beginning to break away from the Catholic Church. So we don't need to do that yet. Maybe later if we go Protestant for some reason. But for now, we're going to leave it. You can see right now we have these kingdoms here. We can't make alliances, and we can't ask for support independence yet, but we can make them like us so that they might join us later on if we end up breaking free. So right now, we're basically just going to let this run. I'll move the speed up to 3, and we're just going to kind of let this game run for a little bit, building up some gold. Our prestige is unfortunately dropping because our overlord gets excommunicated. See if we can fix that. We might be able to. No. Maybe. We cannot, it does not look like. Sometimes there are advisors that can fix this, so we're going to have to do something about that. Let's see, can we... We can't do anything about this, can we? Yes, if we can get up to 96 gold, we can buy indulgences, I think, and then maybe we can make the Pope stop hating us. I almost never play as a subject, so I have very little experience dealing with subject interactions and liberty desire and all of those things, so it's kind of a new thing for me too. Let's see. The Great Bully and Famine. Looks like Bohemia, of all people, got it this time. Usually it's over in Iberia somewhere. Good for them. Bohemia. Oh, looks like Bohemia decided not to put the Habsburg in charge. Good for them. That's smart. They established their own dynasty. And Hungary, we'll see if they allow Austria to take control. What else is going on in the world right now while we wait? Looks like England and France are at war with each other. That's pretty standard. Looks like France is winning, at least for now. That's Charles VII, so he's the not mad one. And that's Henry VI, he's the mad one. Looks like he got an heir, though. Good for him. He's infertile, so don't ask questions. How'd she get pregnant? Well, who cares? Alright, so let's keep going. One of the big things here is that we have to break free of Aragon. Once we do that, we are going to be pretty solid because we're well positioned as kind of the greatest power in Italy. We can see here we're at 102, which isn't much compared to things like the Timurids and all these great powers, but once we get some of the really wealthy cities, like over here we have, I think Venice has 27, Rome, if we take them later, has 25, 25, so we'll take some of these really wealthy cities later on, and we can't go to war yet. I thought so, so we have to wait, but doesn't mean we can't build up some support. Okay, looks like everyone's kind of doing their own thing. What we can do is see how long this will take. 53, 51, 49. Okay. Have to keep on top of all of that. Renaissance City. Okay. We need to embrace the Renaissance and build some buildings. Can't do that yet, but when the time comes, we will. Need, I think, power 4. Yep. So we'll just wait for that to come through. 10 Navy tradition. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's take a look. So we are at 12.1 Navy tradition right now, which means our navies are pretty strong. Oh, now we're at 22.1. That's actually pretty good. Means our blockades and our sailors means everything is quite good, actually. So, yay for Navy tradition. Let's see. Our corruption is good. Our stability is fine. I would like to increase it, but I don't want to use all of our power to do that because it would take up most of our power here. Let's look at our national ideas here and see what idea groups we're going from. Oh, here we go. Oh, here's a couple. Let's drop our speed down and take a look. Let's see. Can we request Palermo? Oh, in Sicily. That's going to be one of these cities down here. Let's see. Maybe we can get it back. Nope. Okay. Well, that makes us hate them more, so we can get close to going to war with them. No expenses. Let's do that. That's fine. So now we are very rebellious. We're getting closer and closer to being able to rebel. They like us. Hmm. Let's pull back from France because they're kind of busy and see if we can't get Aragon to support our independence. Not yet, but we will. In just a few more months, we can ask them to help us. Looks like Moldavia submitted to Roman. Yes, they did. So now they're in march with Poland. Okay, pretty typical and historically accurate. Let's see. Merchant family from Napoli is becoming powerful. Hmm. All right. Let's go with. Hmm. Normally I would go with the other one, but considering the circumstances, I think we're going to go with this guy here, and we're going to use him. Because with him, we still have a positive balance on gold. Our army is training up pretty well, and now our trade is just a little bit stronger than it was. They're over in Alexandria here. We have a merchant transferring trade up to us. This is going to become a problem. We've got to figure out our prestige problem because that's a very low prestige number. So let's see. As soon as Looks like as soon as we break our truce with Aragon, both Portugal and Castile will support us big time. Oh, okay. So let's first definitely go to Portugal because they're much less likely to accept, whereas Castile is just crazy likely to accept. They really want to help us. There we go. So now let's ask Portugal to support our independence. They will, and Castile definitely will. As soon as we get our diplomat back in a couple of days. Yes, there we go. And will France help us? No. Probably too busy fighting their war. Yeah, they're at war. Let's ask, who else does Aragon hate? Morocco? They won't help us, will they? Oh, they're pretty close. I think we can probably make them like us. So let's pull back our guy here and send someone to improve relations here. I think we can actually get them to support our independence. How interesting. Castile, Portugal, and Morocco hoping to break the Neapolitans free. And let's look at our 100% liberty desire here. That's actually really good. So, can we get them to support us yet? Not quite. We will get there in a couple of months. So let's first speed up so we can count by. There we go. Confirm. Okay, that's good. So now let's move our troops down here to Calabria and prepare for war. That means these two need to come in here so they don't get destroyed by the Aragonese navy. And we're going to drop down here a little bit, move everyone over here. Now, Aragon has 16,000 troops, which is not very many. Look at Castile, 30k, 15k, 11k. We have 14, so this shouldn't be much trouble to break free. If we declare war on them to break free, look at those numbers. Austria is going to help them. Okay, that's not ideal, I suppose, that Austria is going to help them for some reason. That'll be a little problematic, but Austria isn't all that powerful. We do, however, since they're our liege, need to boost stability so that losing some stability won't destroy us. So I say, let's go for it. 31 and 10 against 63 and 18. I say, let's break free from Aragon. Yes, we know. We have, our leader isn't great, but all of our people are now allies, and we've stopped being excommunicated. So now we're at war. Let's see if we can't cross here to take Messina, while Aragon is distracted by everyone else. We are blockaded, yes we were. Okay, so now one great thing about sieges here. Oh, we don't have enough cannons. Okay, let's move these guys into port. Oh, they might not make it. They're gonna get destroyed, it looks like. Maybe not. Let's see. Oh, the Aragonese actually don't have a very good navy. We might actually beat their navy, even though they're way stronger than us. Look at those numbers. We have we have two light ships, and I think that might just help us make the difference here. Let's see. 8 and 13. Oh, I think they might just pull it off. Unless someone else comes out. Yeah, they're gonna beat us. Okay. Yeah, let's retreat. Okay. That's frustrating, but we kind of knew it was a long shot. Looks like the Castilians are over here. The Portuguese are doing their own thing. If we can take this fort here, well, we kind of have to because at this point, unfortunately, we've lost control of the seas here, so we kind of have to take control of this fort. It may have been a mistake to move our troops down to this fort without first defeating Austria. Let's see what's going on over here. We kind of just have to take this. We just kind of have to let this run and take this. Meanwhile, Castile and Morocco and Portugal are all over the place. It would be nice if they could coordinate for once. Looks like we actually cancer through all that. Looks like we actually have a little bit of an opportunity here. Morocco has three heavy ships. They're going to decisively win that battle. And we're going to send our guys over to help them. Heavy ships are tanks. They are basically a guarantee of victory. And yes, it looks like they did win, meaning the seas are now clear for us to go back and retake this little strait here. Perfect. We still can't bombard it, which is unfortunate. Maybe one of our allies will send some troops over at some point. Looks like they failed over there. For some reason, they're attacking in piecemeal, which is really kind of dumb of them, but AI allies aren't always the best. Looks like the Ferrarans are going to be problematic. We might need to abandon this siege to go deal with them, or at least leave some troops behind to deal with it. Let's do that. Let's leave. Hmm. Let's leave some troops behind. We're not going to leave them behind. We're just going to leave behind enough. They won't be able to continue the siege, but they will be able. Oh, that's a lot of troops. Looks like Austria's here. That's not going to be great. Okay. This is the problem here. Austria is not behaving very well. But we are still kind of winning the war. So if we can maybe take this fort before they take that one, we might still have a chance to break free. Even just a little bit of gold or something. No, no gold. Hmm. Well, we'll see. I don't know exactly what we need to do to get independence here. I thought it was as simple as just winning. Oh, it's this one here. Okay. So we're definitely nowhere near because we need more war score. Hmm. Well, that's not ideal. We might end up losing this war and having to restart. But if Castile, oh, we're at 10% again. Let's see. They won't grant it, but they're not too far off, all things considered. I think if we can take this province here before they take ours, maybe we can actually convince them to let us go. Looks like our allies aren't being very useful, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything because this is pretty well fortified, so I think it might take them a while to take that one. to take. Of course, they breach the walls immediately. If only we could ever be half as lucky as the AI is when it needs to do something cool, like win a siege fast. Let's just see how this goes. We're gonna speed up to 3 again. We are, yeah, they're not anywhere near letting us go. If Castile and Aragon would be a little more useful, we might actually have a chance here, but unfortunately, or rather, Castile and Portugal. Now that's helpful, thanks to Bohemia. We're going to start making some inroads with Poland, I think, because why not? Looks like for some reason our allies are just being really stupid about how they fight. They keep doing this. This is like the 6th time. I don't know what their end goal is here, but the more we siege them down, the more likely they are. They're getting farther away from letting us go because we're losing. Let's see. Hmm. Castile royal marriage. Let's do it. That's helpful. And while we're here, we can also RM with Portugal, just because. And if we can take this castle, I think we have a good chance of actually pulling this off. Because if we can take Messina, then we can go up. We can't defeat the Austrians in battle. We just don't have the soldiers. But if we can take this fort, we might be able to convince the Aragonese to leave us alone. Okay, France is excommunicated. That's unfortunate, but that's fine. Who else do we have relationships with? No one else. Let's see. Let's go support our heir in Poland just because why not? Okay, not bad, not bad. Pretty good heir. I like that. Maybe we can get lucky here and take the city here one of these months. Supply shortage. Okay. It's going to be a kind of tight race. We have to take their city before they take ours, or we don't stand a chance. I suppose we could hire some mercenaries. We do have access to them. Let's see. But there's not enough troops anywhere to be really useful, so let's not do that. Because these 7 would not be enough to defeat the combined Austrian-Ferrarian army. So I say let's stick it out. Looks like the armies of Morocco's vassals are going to charge into a battle they can't win again, because of course they are. Meanwhile, they finally start to break through. Hopefully we can break through here eventually. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. We're getting there. We're making some progress at least. And they're finally kind of making progress here. Let's see. Let's see. They're making progress, and we really do need to move quickly, or we're going to be in some trouble because they're going to start to snowball. There we go. Let's see. 18%. Let's drop down to a very low speed and see what they are willing to give us. No? No, but not bad. Okay. I'm going to pause here for a second because I want to take a look at what they're willing to give us. So they're not quite willing to give us independence yet, but they're getting pretty close. I think if we divide our army and take all of these provinces, and if they can take this one over here, we might just stand a chance. We're not going to beat them 14 to 31. That's just not going to happen. But if we can go blockade Aragon, well, I think they already are. If we can go blockade Austria, maybe? Let's see. Okay, that's a battle there. They're going to win that battle. That's good. Austria only has 10 ships, and Ferrara, I don't think has any. No, Ferrara, I don't even know where Ferrara is. Here. Looks like they have some ships too. Yeah, okay. 20, 21. Okay. They're going to win this battle here, and I think this battle here maybe. So that's pretty good. Portugal is doing their own thing. So let's unpause and see if we can't just pull this off before Austria gets in the way. Alright, so we are actually going to cut it right there because I lost track of time and ended up recording for almost 70 minutes and only made it about a decade in, but that's to be expected. The first few years are always pretty slow. It'll go faster from here on out. But we're going to cut right there because it's a pretty good stopping point. And part two is already recorded. I just need to edit it. It should go up here within a couple hours of part one. So if you want to watch them both, go for it. I just don't want to have two videos, or rather, would have two videos instead of just one that are each about half an hour long. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part two.